Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back. Hello. Actually, here's the funny thing. We're not back. We haven't left. Technically, I haven't left. I mean, I left, but I didn't leave, but I did leave, but I didn't leave. But here we are. Anyway, but when you're watching this about a month behind. Once again, I'm very sorry, folks. You know, you guys are living in a bit of a void because of how I kind of goofed up and did some things that, well, look, guys, you're going to have to just forgive me. Let's all be friends. Let's forgive each other. That's what friends do, right? We kind of forgive each other. Anyway. Let's talk about this because this is something I really wanted to talk to you guys about. If you're seeing this, this is the day before. And, well, it's the day before for you, but I'm probably halfway through. So this is the Gymshark 66 video. And the first question I'm sure you motherfuckers probably have is, Gymshark 66 is more about creating habits that will take you for the rest of your life, that will change your life. You can pick 3 habits, and those 3 habits are what you are going to track for all 66 days. Now, the thing is, you want to pick things that you're not already currently doing, just so you don't get credit for doing Gymshark 66. That's as best as I can explain it. Now, it does have 3 components, and you could pick from these. You could pick any of these 3, or you could pick all of 1, 2, or all 3. There is a movement or exercise component, mind component, mental health, and nutrition or eating. Once again, you can pick from any of them and go with them, or you could just, pick one and then do it again, do a second one that has, like, you could do one that's all mind, one that's all nutrition, one that's all movement. Just depends on what you want to do. That's what you got to pick. Nobody can tell you what to do. But what did I pick? So I picked 3, and let's get into them now. Now, these are my official goals. These are the ones that we are going to track in the Gymshark 66 app. The first one is daily stretching or mobility. Now, I know everyone's going to listen to that and think that stretching and mobility are the same things. They're not. Stretching is more about the muscles. Mobility is more about your joints. And what we're going to aim for every day for 66 days is 15 minutes per day. Whether it's the first thing when we first wake up, whether it's in the middle of the day, or if it's at the very end of the day before we go to bed, we want to work on stretching or mobility, and we might switch it up where one day we do stretching, the next day we do mobility, then the next day we do stretching, next day we do mobility, and so on and so forth. The second thing, my second, is fruits and vegetables with every meal. 1 serving, it could be 2, if we want to. It could be 3 as far as I'm concerned, but we have to have a fruit or veg with every meal that we eat. I think we might space meals out. Right now, as you guys know, for 75 hard, I was doing 20 and 4. We might take that down to 18 and 6. I really don't want to do 16 and 8 again. Because to me, 8 hours is a long ass fucking time to eat, and you can eat a lot of shit in 8 hours. At least in 4, while you can, you're going to have 20 hours to burn that shit off. And even then, sometimes I wasn't even hungry enough to eat most of my calories. So you do want to have a fruit or a veg at every meal, including, like if I have a protein shake, I still want to have a fruit in there. If I have dessert, like my peanut butter, that's one you can either do fruit or, carrots or celery, whatever with that one. But the third one, the last one, is ice bath or cold shower. Now, for this to be count, I need to do a minimum of 1 minute per day in the cold shower. Or if I do an ice bath or ice plunge, it has to be a minimum of 1 minute in to count. If it's under a minute, it doesn't count. We got to do it again. And no, we can't accumulate we do 42 seconds on this one and then 31 seconds on this one. No, it has to be 1 minute continuous. But the goal is we want to get to 5 minutes. That's the goal, is to stand there for 5 minutes. No, we could flinch all we want to, but as long as we don't get out, fine. Now that we went over the official goals, let's get into these are goals we are not going to track. We're not going to track these in the app. These are going to be ones that we are going to track on our own. But once again, accountability, I'm going to do everything here on video so you guys can see it being done. So the first unofficial goal is 30 to 60 minutes of exercise daily. And the way we're going to break this up is Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday are going to be my cardio days. Those are going to be the days I do somewhere between 30 to 60 minutes of some form of cardio. We'll look through the Gymshark app. They do have their own training app, and we'll see what they have, and we'll go from there. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to do either something body weight or resistance. Whether that resistance comes from bands or we... Whoa, fuck is it at? Or we fill these buckets with water and get those. But we're going to do something that is resistance. No caffeine after midday. Now, that does sound crazy because I haven't really been drinking a whole lot of coffee. So the big thing with that one will be that depending on what my day looks like that day or what my schedule looks like that day, we are going to do something where I don't drink coffee after whatever the midpoint is. So if I start, school or start work at, 7, 8 o'clock, 3:30. If I start later in the day, then, well, let's just call it 3:30. So after 3:30, no more coffee or any caffeine. Last one is give someone a random compliment. Now, it does not have to be anyone I know. It could be someone I know. But it cannot be the same person more than twice in a 1 week period. And that is to keep everyone from is to keep me from just giving the same person a compliment over and over and over and over and over again. Because to me, that's kind of what I like to call cheating. Now, let's get into this part, because these are the overall goals of why I'm doing Gymshark 66. I mean, really, I'm just doing it because content. Anyway, my overall goals is I do want to maintain body weight somewhere between 275 and 290. I don't want to go far over. I don't want to go over 290. But I don't want to go any lower than 275. That's as low as I feel comfortable. I don't want to go any lower than that. Please, I have a dietitian and a physician. You're not it. They're not in my comments. Stay out. Please don't. Another one is a light recomp of my body and to build upper body strength. I have a strong lower body and a very weak upper body, which is probably where a lot of my back pain is coming from. So I'm hoping that with this, I will build some kind of upper body strength and maybe a little bit of muscle on the upper body, which will get me ready for the next phase of what we're going to do. Strengthen core and back muscles. Once again, like I said, I have really weak upper body, especially my core and my back. So hopefully we can address those issues, and maybe that will fix quite a few of my issues on my back. Become more confident and friendlier with people I don't know. Once, that was one of the things with not Body for Life, with 75 Hard, that we made a goal that we were going to do, and I want to continue that goal. So that's why I'm giving compliments, is for that reason. Better flexibility and mobility. I already do have good mobility, and I am a very mobile person, but flexibility can always be worked on. It's one of them things that you don't want to lose. Once you lose it, it's gone forever. So I want to keep that going. Increase fruit and veg for micronutrients. Look, I know we all love doing our protein, carb, fats. That's cool, but you still need those vitamins and minerals. If you don't have those, you can kind of get a little wonky in your body. Keeping my caffeine intake low during the day. Now, as you've seen, I really don't have a whole lot of caffeine anymore. Like I say, Angry Vigilante is one of them people that could tell you that I used to have a whole lot of it. Now I don't. So I want to keep that low. If we can go even lower, great. If not, like I say, one a day should be fine. Boost the immune system and shock the system. I would say my immune system is okay, but there's times where my immune system sucks. Let body adjust to its new way. That's one that I don't think a lot of people do, which is when they lose a lot of weight or a lot of fat, they don't let their body just get into stasis where, okay, it learns how to be where you are now. It's not always push, but it's, okay, this is cool. So I want to let my body get to a place where it's comfortable at being in the 280 to 290 range, and we're good. Last one is find my maintenance calories. Now, of course, all these TDEE, BMR, BMI, whatever, they all will spit out some numbers, but those numbers could be drastically off. Like I said, I know that at right now 293 point whatever, it says that my maintenance calories are somewhere between 31 to 3,500. I keep getting the feeling that if I eat 3,500 calories, we're going to be back up to being about 400 pounds, and I don't want that. So at this point, what we have to do is we need to find our maintenance, eat there for a couple weeks, and if we stay there, then we know that's our maintenance. So that's one of the biggest goals right now, is to find that. And let's get into the last part of this video, which is now, the fun thing about Gymshark 66 is this is not as hard as 75 Hard, whereas if you fail, you got to start over from day one. No, if you fail a day, you just keep going. You keep going and you keep trying harder. But if you want to join me, just download the Gymshark 66 app. No, this is not a sponsored video. I am not a sponsored athlete with Gymshark 66, but if you do want to try it, go ahead, download the app, look under, I believe, progress. It'll say challenges. Click on the Gymshark 66 challenge, and you can pick your 3, and you can start, or you can do like I'm doing, pick your official 3, then pick your unofficial 3, and keep going. And let's do it together. Like I said, you don't have to, but I will put the link down in the description so you guys can follow along if you want to. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, get ready to start this off. So see you for day 1.